beautiful one, beautiful people. I hope you're all well. Thank you for tuning in. So today I'll be discussing addiction just in general, and just some thoughts and revelations that I've personally had as to what it could possibly be. And so I'll get right into it. I don't want this to be too long. I know some of you may have, most of you coming across this video will probably resonate with this message, because that's just how the algorithms work now. They keep everybody inside this little bubble, so it's kind of hard to reach new audiences, unfortunately, but whatever. I want to start with alcoholism and the term spirits. Now, I've felt this way for a while, so it's not like this is like a new revelation. I just kind of have a YouTube channel now to just share my thoughts. So I've always felt like the term spirits very literally informs you as to what this libation is, what it is. And I've come across information that has helped me realize that these spirits were used to contact spirits at some point with a lot of indigenous cultures, and they used it to contact ancestors or possibly dead loved ones. God, these bugs, I might have to fucking move. To contact dead ancestors or just spirits in general, to connect with the other realms. Now, what it's used for today, that's a different story that I need to get into, and why it's dangerous, and why you are very literally opening yourself to demonic entities. Some people like to call them demons, lower frequency beings. You're opening yourself to being hijacked, and just all of these things, and not hijacked in a way that will be for your best interest. So I feel like when you go to a bar, any bar, whether it be for drinking or partying or listening to music, these environments are very literally constructed to summon these demonic entities or lower forces or beings that are looking for host bodies. Okay, this is not a situation where you're channeling your ancestors who mean you well. Okay, you're channeling some ancestors, but they don't mean you well. Okay, so first we have the music that's being played, which is generally spells all in itself, and that's also a part of this conversation, because see, all of these things work hand in hand. You know what I mean? All of these things work hand in hand. And so you have the music, the lighting. Sometimes you have clubs that have red and blue lights flashing, which is, I've learned a few years ago that that's also triggering parts of your brain that is enabling these spells to be cast and for them to settle and cement themselves. Now, red stimulates and blue relaxes. So all of this is going into your subcon. So then you have the words that are being used, and most of the times, the modern pop music, the culture of that is lower vibrational and bass, and only focused on greed and sex and just depravity. I mean, I'm just gonna call it what it is, right? There are ways to shield yourself from these spells, you know what I mean? So it's not like you can shield yourself from these things with mantra and subconscious deprogramming, which was something I did with, I removed myself from these kinds of music for a few years, and I only began listening to music that was harmonic, music that didn't have words at all, which really helped me clear out some stuff. But you're drinking this spirit that's opening portals, welcoming these lower entities into you. Then you have the music that's helping these spells be cast and helping these entities hijack you, basically. So, you know, if any of this sounds crazy, you know, if someone happens to come across this video and like this is the first time you're hearing anything like this and you're like, what the fuck is she talking about? Let me give you an example. When you look at a person who is blacked out drunk, I'm talking about blacked out, they don't remember anything the next day. If you want to know what that is, okay, someone has hijacked your body. Someone has hijacked this person. A spirit has very literally used your body to carry out whatever it's lower, whether it's to experience physical intimacy, which is sex, whether this spirit is enraged and angry and needs a body to like act out some form of rage. This is where the violence comes in. You know, they call violent drunks, and then you have, you know, some people who just become very chatty. You know, it all depends on the individual and what their vibration is and what's going on with themselves that's going to allow this spirit and what it wants to do to use your body for. You know, what other explanation is there for somebody who can't remember what the fuck they did the previous night or previous day? That's a problem. Okay, that's a serious problem, and it's scary. The only time I ever experienced something like that was, I actually wrote a poem about this. I'll see if I can find it, and I'll link it in the description. It wasn't related to addiction, but it was related to a substance that made me black out, where I didn't remember, you know, I couldn't recall the previous night. And even a few days after, you know, I took this substance, which was Molly. I only took it one time. But I took it on an empty stomach, and I was like kind of dehydrated. And so the first time you take something so like crazy like that, you really should not be doing it on an empty stomach. You know what I mean? So I believe that was partially one of the reasons why I had such a bad reaction to it. That was the first and only time I did it. And, you know, I'm a completely sober person now. I have no interest in doing anything that's going to alter my state of consciousness at all. But just be very careful with these drugs, because they are controlled substances, and you might not be getting what you think you're getting all the time. You know, I got really sick after that. It's like my brain was frozen for 3 days. I couldn't think. If you can imagine, like someone asking you a question and then, you know, the process of thinking to answer the question, I couldn't think for like 3 days. I'm very serious. That was the scariest thing I had ever experienced, and I was so terrified, because I was like, oh my God, I've lost my ability to fucking think the first time taking some shit. But, you know, these drugs are not, they are so dangerous. You know what I mean? They are super dangerous. I literally thought I was going to die. Like, that was a horrible experience. But anyway, my point is like, I remember, you know, some of the states of that experience, and it was very scary. You know what I mean? You are being hijacked. You're opening portals. You know what I mean? And so any kind of an addiction is actually lowering your vibration to be hijacked by any and everything. You know, whether you have an addiction to video games or TV, guys, these bugs are like, this is why I'm like fidgeting so much. Anyway, what the fuck was I saying? Oh, any kind of an addiction is going to lower your vibration to be hijacked, period, no matter what it is, whether it's video games, whether it's your cell phone, whether it's smoking, whether it's drinking, whether it's marijuana. All of these things carry different frequencies, so you will be channeling different spirits. So if it's a video game, you'll be channeling whatever programming is in that video game, you know, suppressing your spirit and your mind and programming you to stay on it. whether it's Facebook. I mean, you can look at these videos on YouTube and find people that are addicted to social media, and it's actually created for you to be addicted. Very literally, like, I'm not making this up, they actually tell you that. So hello, it's created for you to be addicted, and we have to start unhinging ourselves from the addictive personality altogether and utilizing this addictive wanting to attach to something. We want to connect with something. That's at the root of addiction. Let me just let y'all know that it's our human desire to want to connect. And so if you're lonely, if you're depressed, and all of these things, social media helps you feel like you're connecting still to people when you're really not, and it's not helping your real life for you to connect with people either. You know, that's what I learned. And so, you know, I'm like, I don't want to focus my energy anymore on building a life on social media. I want to build an actual life. You know what I mean? And let social media be like some kind of fun supplemental thing that I do literally occasionally, not even every day. I'm not even trying to be on it every day. Like, I've got rid of my Facebook. My Instagram is on the way out the door after I finish promoting my marijuana addiction playlist. Like, all of this shit needs to stop. And even the watching other people on YouTube, that's stopping. Like, I need to reclaim 100% of my energy for a while. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so easy to fall into these portals and vortexes that wants your attention, that wants your energy. And I'm just not doing it no more. You know what I mean? So I hope this helps give just some perspective on what addiction really is. It's really just a soul sickness. It's really just your want to connect with something, whether it be you're addicted to pain pills, or no matter what it is, it's lowering your vibration to be hijacked by these lower frequency beings. And this is why you keep going back to the thing. The thing that has a hold of you is like, oh, okay, I found a body now to live in and experience this thing in. I'm not letting it go. You have to eject these spirits from your body. It's literally like an exorcism. The word EX means, you know, to push out, external. You know what I mean? Exorcise these shits out of your body and then close the door. You know what I'm saying? We're not closing our doors. We got to close the door. You open the door, now you got to close it. If I open the top to my water, I'm actually water fasting. Speaking of getting rid of demons, right? This is a great way to get rid of just attachments and these things that feed on sugar and like just, you know, all of these things that we have in our bodies. Like, it really helps. I might only do it for 48 hours. You know, I'm kind of a small person, so I don't have too much body fat to spare here. But yeah, it's good for me to do this occasionally to just, you know, when I feel like things are becoming blocked up or I feel like I'm being attacked or whatever, I do this to shield up and raise my vibration to come back to a pH balance. You know, and since I've been sober, I've seen these demons try to come after me again. I just call it demons because it's a fun term for me to use. I speak to them like, no, I'm sorry, like, this door is closed. Can't you see it's locked? I mean, you're really wasting your time. You might as well go, like, find another body to use because this shop is closed, okay? And so, you know, when you're aware of what you're dealing with, it makes it a lot easier for you to ward off these things. You know what I mean? So leave some comments below. Let me know if you have an addiction to something that you want to that you've noticed that you're like, okay, I want to pull back from this because, you know, this is getting out of hand. Okay, it's getting a bit much. I've had all kinds of addictions, okay? Like, the list is long, and I really feel grateful that I'm at a place now where I feel fully sovereign over those things, and I'm not letting those things run me. You know, I felt like I was being ran by just because I was. It feels really good to be in a conscious state that I'm aware of what I'm doing and my actions, and I'm not just operating from a program. So we will all get there with will. Okay, when there's a will, there is a way. Take care. My name's Nirvana. Please like the video so that other people who may want to see it can see it, because, you know, YouTube is fucking just, they are trying to shut people down out here. Anyway, later.